Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del P. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
All right, an awesome and amazing afternoon, everyone. So we are here now in our ETUlay for English 8. So how are you today? So paki-chat naman dyan sa ating comment box. Pakilagay dyan, how are you feeling this afternoon? Okay pa ba tayo? We are Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Have a blessed Tuesday sa lahat. Okay. And I would like to greet pala, no, lahat na taga Lapu-Lapu City because today we are celebrating the 500 years of having the victory at Mactan. Ayan. Then, I would like to say good afternoon sa mga mag-aaral, sa mga kaguruan, at of course sa mga parents na nandyan with us this afternoon. Hello to Giselle Esguera. Ayan. And here, I see here Kizel Orival from San Fernando Norte Elementary School, grade 5 gold. Wow. Meron din dito si Jerry Clackup. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to our ETUlay online tutorial. So, by the way, I'm Teacher Ruby. I will be with you from 2:20 p.m. up to 3 p.m. this afternoon. So, para masubaybayan ang mga ETUlay online tutorial, paki-like, okay, the DepEd Edtech Unit, Facebook, DepEd Philippines, DepEd Tayo Facebook pages. And of course, paki-subscribe din sa ating DepEd Edtech Unit and DepEd TV. Ayan. So once again, welcome dito sa ating lesson for this afternoon about English 8. So we are now in quarter 3, week 5. So we will be talking about figurative languages. So, ayan, good afternoon, Jerry Clackup from National High School, Batasan. Meron din tayo from Dagupan City Division, Merlenda Paras Mariado. Ayan, good afternoon. So, last week, okay, we tackled about the elements of a short story. So, review muna tayo, ha? Ayan, tingnan natin kung sino yung makakuha ng mga sagot. Alright, so Please prepare your materials. Kung meron man kayong modules dyan, kung wala naman, you can comment there sa mga sagot ninyo. Alright, so here, identify the correct element of the story. So choose the correct answer below. So the choices are setting, character, plot, point of view, or theme. So these are the 5 elements of the story. Now, this one, okay. The main idea of a story. What is this? Okay. Again, you can uh, write down your answer in our comment box. Okay, so good afternoon. Watching from New Canaan Integrated School, Alabel 1 District, Sarangani Division, Gretchen Selmaro Ramirez. Ayan sila. Now, ngayon, no, who can give the answer here? The main idea of a story. Yes, I can see your answers. All right, now let's check if it's correct. Okay, is it setting, character, plot, point of view, or theme? Yes, you are correct. So when we talk about theme of a short story, it means we are referring to the main idea of a story. So let me reiterate this one. A theme is not the lesson of the story, or the theme is not the what do you call that one? Not the yes, it's the theme is not the lesson or the moral lesson of the story, but it's the idea. Okay, so Guadalquivir, Gem Purissima, you are correct. A main idea is the central topic of a story. Very good. So the answer is theme. How about this one? It tells the reader where and when the story takes place. So, this is very important in any story. So, let's see who can get the correct answer. All right, so we are still in the review phase, my grade 8 learners. All right, so here, the correct answer is ready. Wow, very good, Angelica. Your answer is correct. It's setting. Okay, for number 3, okay, I will show the answer later, huh? Okay, let's check here. Right, so from number 2 to number 5. Okay. Okay, tingnan natin. You can write there, like number 2, my answer is setting. Number 3, character. Number 4, something like that. You can do like that. All right, so here in number 3, the chain of related events in a story. What is this? Then in number 4, the people or animals that take part of the story. Then in number 5, the perspective from which the story is told. Oh, yan, the answer of Kijel Orival. According to her, the answer in number 2 is plot. Let's see if it's correct. All right. So good afternoon, Maria Susan Tanyara, Mary Laman. Ayan. So let's check your answer. Okay. So the answer in number 2 is setting. So setting tells the reader where and when the story takes place. Good. How about in number 3? Let's check your answer. According to Kajal Arival, the answer in number 3 is point of view. Is it correct? Okay, in number 3, the chain of related events in a story. Okay, let's check it. Okay, the correct answer is plot. Okay, so here in number 4, the people or animals that take part of the story. Ready? Let's check your answer. Yes, you are correct. It's character. Yeah. Jerry Clackup, good work. Your answer is correct. How about in number 5? the perspective from which the story is told. Ready? I'm waiting. Ayan. So, yes, good afternoon, Grace Abalahon. Ayan. So, the answer for number 5 is point of view. All right. So, we are done now with our review. So, the main idea of a story is what we call as theme. Then, it tells the reader where and when the story takes place. It means the setting of the short story. And for number 3, plot, okay, means it's the chain of related events in a story. So there are also different parts in a plot, if you can still remember that. Then number 4, characters are the people or animals that take part of the story. Then in number 5, point of view uh, is what we call as the perspective from which the story is told. Okay, moving on. Let's move now to our objectives of the day. So, ready? So, at the end of the session, you will be able to recognize literal and figurative languages. Whether we like it or not, people use languages. Sometimes we prefer to use literal, and there are times also that we like to utilize figurative languages. All right. So, next, determine figurative languages. Actually, there are a lot of figurative languages, more than 20 of them, but we will be focusing only 8 for today because our time is very limited. So, good afternoon, Fatima May de la Cruz Francisco, and watching with us is Lojel Kim Anabo from North Hills Village High School. Okay. Now, moving on. Let's have this one. Direct language is the easiest for us to understand. Okay? But sometimes we respond better to more creative wording. Okay. Yes, it's good to use simple languages, direct language, for us to understand each other easily. But there are times that we need to use or respond in more creative way. That's why figurative languages are part in English communication. All right. That's why it's called English Communication Arts. Ayan. So we need to be creative in one way and the other. All right. So now I will give statements and you will identify if it's literal or a figurative language. Are you ready, everyone? Okay, I hope you are ready now. Okay, so watching with us this afternoon is Mrs. Lonilin. Good afternoon from grade 8 English teachers of Langatian National High School, Zamboanga del Norte. Ayan, we have also here Mika San Antonio, uh, 8 Nara from North Hills, and Judith Grisha Glass from Binyan City. Wow. Good afternoon. So, are you ready now for the next activity? So, all you have to do is to analyze the statement, then identify if it's literal or figurative language. You know what? Most students define figurative language topic as a tough one. Okay? It's a hard topic sometimes. But this afternoon, since this is a tutorial session, let's make it simple. Let's make things easy for everyone. All right? So here, when we talk about literal language, this means you say exactly what you mean. Like, I'm hungry. I'm sad, I'm happy. Oh, it's very literal, right? Or when we talk about literal language, you make no comparison. Okay? And you do not exaggerate or understate the situation. What you got, okay, is what he or she will say. All right? So when it comes to literal, you say exactly what you mean. And the listener also can hear exactly what the speaker means. All right, no comparison and no exaggeration. On the other hand, in figurative language, you don't say exactly what you mean, or the speaker don't say exactly what he or she means, or the writer or the author don't write exactly what he or she means. And in a figurative language, the writer or the speaker do compare. There's always a comparison. There's always an exaggeration and understate the situation just to make the speaking engagement or writing more exciting, just to add colors, just to add creativity. All right, so here, learning task one. Again, you need to identify, is it literal or figurative? Are you ready? Okay. Wow. Good afternoon, girly Luzbel Maputi. And we have also Ruel de la Cruz Gurap and Violeta Gahudu. Good afternoon from Kupang National High School, Antipolo City. All right. Thank you for bearing with us this afternoon. Now, let's have this one. The statement is John always turns in his homework on time. John always turns in his homework on time. Okay. Is it literal or figurative? Comment down your answer. Okay, let's check how good grade 8 learners are in this afternoon. Okay, wow. Mark Patton says literal. Oh, let's check your answer. Yes, you are correct, Mark. Very good. So the statement or the sentence that says John always turns in his homework on time is a literal language. All right. Next. Her teeth are like stars because they come out at night. Okay. Again, identify if it's literal or figurative. Her teeth are like stars because they come out at night. Let's think it over. And by the way, in answering, make sure to write the number and the correct answer so that it's easy for me to identify. Okay, according to G. Sika, the answer is figurative. From Mark Platon, figurative. From Mrs. Lonilin, figurative. From Girly Luzbel, figurative. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for responding. Thank you for engaging with me. So, her teeth are like stars because they come out at night. So, this is figurative. Very good. Your answers are correct. Wow, that's good. Now, let's move to number 3. I'm so hungry. I could eat a horse. Okay. I'm so hungry. I could eat a horse. Let's analyze. Is it literal or figurative? All right. I have seen here answers. Okay. Yes, that's correct. You write the number, then the correct answer. Wow. I have seen here the answer of G. Sika, Annalyn Kakayurin Dalit, Mark Platoon, Mark Kevin Cruz Samson, Jerry Clackup, Justin Riga, Judith Grisha. Wow. And your answers are figurative. Is it correct or not? So, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. So, the correct answer is figurative. Yes, you are correct, Giziel or Ival. It's figurative. Just imagine, uh, you could eat a horse. So, of course, it's impossible to eat a horse even if we are so hungry. I hope you have eaten your lunch this time. Moving on, the boys in the class did not complete the assignment. The boys in the class did not complete the assignment. Is it literal or figurative? Oh, right. Let's have it. Oh, I see the answer of Mark Kevin. Literal from G, from Mark. Okay. According to them, the answer is literal. Let's check. Yes, you are correct. So the boys and the class did not complete the assignment. Direct language. So the statement is easy to understand. All right. So here, the boys in the class did not complete the assignment is a literal language. Moving on for number 5, learning task 1, number 5. Mike was so angry that steam was coming out of his ears. Mike was so angry that steam was coming out of his ears. Is this literal or figurative? Okay. While waiting for your answers, good afternoon, Rose, Dibuki, Dipenyo, watching from Pedro Idias High School, SDO Muntinlupa. Ayan, you have submitted your answers already. Wow. I have a great students this afternoon. And all your answers are figurative language. Let's check if your answers are correct. Okay. Yes. The sentence that the sentence goes like this. Mike was so angry that steam was coming out of his ear. So it's a figurative language. Yes, you are correct, Daisy. Figurative. And Kiziel or Ival. Good. Now we're done with the learning task 1. Moving on. Okay. We're now here in this part. Okay. Figurative language is a type of descriptive language where the meaning of the phrase is not taken literally or word for word. Okay, so we need to analyze the statement. We need to really comprehend the phrase because when you talk about figurative language, the meaning is not taken literally. Okay, and in figurative language, the phrase has a deeper or more abstract meaning. Okay, so sometimes we are not so familiar with the terms used. We're not familiar with uh, phrases written or spoken languages. So we need to analyze, we need to search the meaning of it when the writer or the speaker use figurative languages. So here, there are some types of figurative language. As what I've said, there are more than 20. There are a lot of them, but we will be focusing only on some terms. So, according to Mark Platon, figurative language is also called idiomatic expressions to hide or cover the real meaning. Yes, you have an idea, Mark. An idiom is a type of a figurative language, one of the type of figurative languages. Okay, so I will give some here. Okay, like simile, hyperbole, alliteration, metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, upon. Okay, these are 8. Another, actually, there are a lot of allusion, there's idiom, you have also synecdoche, irony, metonymy, litotes, paradox. Okay, so some are not here, but again, there are a lot of. But again, we will be focusing on this first 8 this afternoon. The simile, hyperbole, alliteration, metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, and pun. All right, now let's start with simile. Now, when we talk about simile, we are comparing two unlike things. Again, in simile, we are comparing two unlike things using the words like or as. So, simile is somewhat easy to identify because all you have to do is to find the keywords. There are keywords. The word like or the word as. So, an example here, her teeth are like stars because they come out at night. All right? So, the word here, like stars, comparing to her teeth, okay? These statements here make the figurative language as simile. Okay, so take note. Simile is comparing two unlike things using the words like or as. So that's the first figurative language, simile. Now, moving to the second one, second sentence or second example. Karen is as gentle as a lamb. So, what keyword is being used here? The keyword being used is the word as gentle as a lamb. Okay? So, again, the keywords like or as are very important and necessary. And it's easy for us to identify that the figurative language is in simile. Okay, second, hyperbole. In this figurative language, there's an exaggeration. Statements are being exaggerated. And it's also so dramatic. No one could believe it. There's always an overstatement to emphasize a point. Okay? So, again, in hyperbole, there's an exaggeration of the statement, and it's so dramatic, and no one could seem to believe it because there's an overstatement, okay, just to emphasize a point. So, example, I've told you a million times to clean up your room. Oh, is this possible that you can remind somebody million times just to clean up your room? Oh, I'm a mother. I have a daughter. I can't do this. Reminding her a million times just to clean up the room. So it's impossible. There's an overstatement. That's why this sentence is having a hyperbole figurative language. Ayan. So, from the example naman dyan, another one, this bag weighs a ton. Wow, I'm so glad. According to Julia Lucas, kaya po pala familiar, ma'am, na pag-aralan namin last year. Yes, that's good. Actually, kahit nga sa elementary, meron na ang lesson na ito eh. Kahit sa MTV, I've seen this many times na din sa MTV Cebuano and in lower English language, English subjects. But we are having this one, and this is part of the competency in our MELC because there's a need for mastery. There's a need for retention. Okay, so moving on to number 3. First, we have the simile. Second, hyperbole. Third, we have alliteration. Now, what's this alliteration means? So, alliteration, repeated consonant sounds occurring at the beginning of the words or within words, including tongue twisters. So, if you are familiar with tongue twisters, those are example of alliteration. Okay? That's good. Then, repeated consonant sound occurring at the beginning of words. So here, she was wide-eyed and wondering while she waited for Walter to waken. Yes. So the first consonant sound there, W, is being highlighted. Okay, wide, wondering while waited for Walter to waken. So the repeated consonant sound occurring at the beginning of the words, let's make it alliteration. Okay, and another example. Oh, are you familiar with this tongue twister? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Oh, so the beginning or the consonant sound of P is repeated in the beginning of words. So, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So, it's an example of alliteration. Actually, most of the tongue twisters are in alliteration. Okay. Next, we have number 4, metaphor. First, we had a simile. Second, we have the hyperbole. Third, alliteration. Fourth, we have now metaphor. So, in the metaphor, it's like comparing two unlike things without using like or as. Okay? Comparing two unlike things without using like or as. So, yes, Mark Platon, you are correct that figurative language are used to give an ornament in a sentence, to add beauty, to add creativity, especially in the part of the writer or the part of a speaker. So, here, example, the road was a ribbon wrapped through the desert. Another, he's a lion when he fights. Okay. Uh, they are trying to compare the lion with a certain person, but without using the word like or as, so direct comparison. Okay, he's a lion when he fights. Okay, so anyway, I know this lesson is not new to everyone, but again, mastery is very important. Yeah, especially if your teachers will allow you to write output. Okay. Then another example here. Her eyes were sparkling emeralds. Her eyes were sparkling emeralds. It's like comparing her eyes to an emerald without the use of a word like or as. So direct comparison. So example of Christian Paul Soriano. Philippines is the pier of the Orient Sea. Very good. Yes, this is metaphor. Philippines is the pearl of the Orient Sea. Oh, ang Pilipinas ay perlas ng silanganan. Ayan. That's the essence. Thank you for that, Paul. And number 5, personification. So, in this figurative language, it's like giving human characteristics to things. Okay? Things, of course, things that are not human, but it seems like in the statement, that thing is a person, the way it acts or the way it moves. So, example here, the sun smiled down on us. We know very well that human beings can smile, but of course, the sun is a thing. But here, the statement is trying to characterize the sun just like a human. Another example here, the wind yells while blowing. We know very well that wind cannot yell, all right? Only a person can yell. Okay, so that's why this statement belongs to the figurative language personification. So giving human characteristics to things that are not human. Okay, now moving on for onomatopoeia. Okay, when we talk about onomatopoeia, it's the use of words that mimic sounds. I always remember my son, my 1-year-old son, he always say, I like that red car, broom, with a sound, broom, 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 something like that. So the child can identify already the name of the object, but uh, he's not contented with it, but he also mimic the sound of the car or mimic the sound of the animals that he knows around him. Okay, so onomatopoeia, it's the use of words that mimic sound. Example, the firecracker made a loud kaboom. Ayan, so we know very well that firecrackers have different sounds. So when you talk also with a snake, there's a hissing sound. Then for the birds, they have sound. So when you mimic that sound in the statement, when you use that sounds in your sentences, that's onomatopoeia. The use of words that mimic sound. Again, we are making things easy here. All right. Now, number 7 for oxymoron. Okay. This figurative language puts two words together that seem to contradict each other. Or anyone who can give example of oxymoron. Let's try. If you are familiar with this topic, please give me example of oxymoron. You can send that in our chat box. Okay, put two words together that seem to contradict each other. Okay, so example here is, this is another fine mess you have got us into. So what are the two contradicting words here? The word fine and the word mess. This is another fine mess you have got us into. And another examples of oxymoron are act naturally. Okay? Alone together. Di ba? Two contradicting words. Oh, yes. Ruel de la Cruz, your answer, your example is correct. Act naturally. Okay, what else? What other example that you can give? Yes, alone together. Definitely, maybe. Bittersweet. Okay, they are opposite. They're contradicting. Okay, so that's all about oxymoron. Oh, wow. I have here farewell reception, deafening silence. Oh, wow. That's good, Rose. You have also your dark light. Yes. Clearly confused. Okay. And there are a lot of oxymoron that you can use. Known secret. Oh, yes. And the last for today is pun. Now, are you familiar with this figurative language? Anyone who can tell me, who can share your idea, yeah, by commenting down there in the comment section? Oh, what is pun or an example of a pun? Okay, here. It's a play on words. Wow, Mark Platon, very yeah, very honest. He says no, ma'am. Okay. So pun is a play on words. It exploits the different meanings of a word or its homonyms, usually to humorous effect. Okay? So the purpose of this is to have Yes, you are correct. For the sake of a joke. Yes. That's why there's a humorous effect. Yeah, somewhat like a joke. Okay, example. A boiled egg every morning is hard to beat. A boiled egg every morning is hard to beat. So this is an example of a figurative language under the pun. Okay, so we're done with this. Again, there are a lot of figurative language, but we cannot take them all for today. So you have only 8 for this afternoon. So let's have the learning task too. So you will choose the correct figurative language. Is it simile, hyperbole, alliteration, metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, or pun? Okay, here, are you ready? Let's have number 1. So don't forget to write there the number, and beside the number, you can write the word of the correct answer. So number 1, her blonde hair shined like the sun. Her blonde hair shined like the sun. Oh, I have here the answer. Oh, Ruel de la Cruz, Mark Platon. Yes, let's check it. And the correct answer is simile. Why? What's the word? What's the keyword there? Why it's easy for you to identify that this sentence is under the figurative language simile? Yes, you are correct because of the word like. Okay, we compare the blonde hair to the sun using the word like. That's why it's simile. Okay, number 2. She cried a river of tears. She cried a river of tears. Okay, what figurative language is this? Is it possible to cry a river of tears? Oh, okay. So, of course, this is just a figurative language known as go, go, go. Send your answer. I have a lot of great students this afternoon. Yes, according to Christian Paul Soriano and Roel de la Cruz, hyperbole because it is an overstatement. Hyperbole because it's exaggerated. Well, I like this one. There's an explanation. Oh, let's check. Yay, you are correct. It's metaphor. Okay? It's just metaphor, actually, not hyperbole. Why? It's metaphor. We are comparing directly the between the okay, she cried a river of tears. So it's a metaphor. Mm. Next. All right. The west wind dances down the road. Okay, the west wind dances down the road. Okay, what's the answer for that? Hmm. Just imagine. Do you think a wind can dance? Oh, that's why, class, we need to review. We need to refresh because there's a tendency for us to be confused and to forget the terms. Yes, Chino Jaime Samonte, your answer is personification. Let's check. Yes, you are correct. The west wind dances down the road. So it's a personification. Good. Number 4, Susan suddenly stretched slowly. Okay. Mm. Susan suddenly stretched slowly. So what's the answer? Okay. Wow. Sometimes it's good to give also your explanation. That's one way of proving that you really understand. And you can support your answer. The explanation really supports your answer. So here, number 4. Wow, you are correct. Christian Paul Soriano. It's, what's the answer in number 4? It's alliteration because the consonant sound at the beginning of the word starts with letter S. Susan, suddenly, stretch, slowly. Very good. Now for number 5, the firecracker made a loud kaboom. Oh, is that? Do you still remember when you're trying to make a sound? Oh, okay. The firecracker made a loud kaboom. Oh, I hope you can still remember. When we mimic a sound, what figurative language is that? Go, go, go. Yes. So sometimes we tend to think that, oh, I have heard many times that lesson, but yes, sometimes we tend to forget and we are confused. So we need to clarify things out. Okay, Christian, your answer is onomatopoeia. Very good. You are correct. See, you're you able to participate and be engaged with me this afternoon. So let's have this one. Among those eight, okay, among those eight mm, figurative language that we studied a while ago, metaphors and similes are the two most commonly used figures of speech because we tend to compare. Yes. And simile, when we compare, there's a word like or as. And metaphor, no like, no as, but direct. Okay. But uh, hyperbole and personification are also figure of speech that are in good, especially for writers. They love to utilize these figurative languages. Okay, moving on. We're now in evaluation phase. Get ready, guys. Let's check if you still able to master all those concepts. So here, all you have to do is to identify the correct figure of speech, but you will only write the letter of the correct answer. Okay? You need to identify the correct figure of speech in the sentence below, then write only the letter of the correct answer. Okay, get ready. Hey, hey. All right. So for number one, I would die without you. I would die without you. Wow, I see here the answer of Christian and Chino, Rose, Duboki. According to them, the answer is letter B. Oh, are you oh, ready? How about the others? Wow. Oh, most of you answered letter B. And the correct answer is yay! Wow, very good. It's letter B. It's a hyperbole. Okay, good. Okay, next. Number two, identify the correct figure of speech. Okay, so the car is feeling cranky today. Okay, please give your answer. Is it personification, hyperbole, metaphor, or simile? Just write the letter of the correct answer. Number, then beside the number, write the letter of the correct one. Well, Chino, Chino's answer is letter A. Hmm. Okay. Christian also says letter A. Ruel de la Cruz is also A. Let's check. Oh no, actually it's A. It's personification. Sorry for this. The answer is personification, letter A. Okay, for number three, my love is like a red, red rose. My love is like a red, red rose. A, onomatopoeia. B, hyperbole. Letter C, metaphor. Or D, simile. Hmm. Okay. Just imagine we are having this. What do you think is the correct answer? Wow. Others says letter D. Emily Tavara, Rose Belmonte says letter D. Okay. Yes, it's letter D. Simile. Why? Because of the word like. My love is like a red, red rose. Okay. Now for number four. Identify the correct figure of speech. Okay. The United States is a melting pot. Mm. The United States is a melting pot. A, simile. B, hyperbole. C, metaphor. D, personification. All right. So, let's have. Oh, I see the answer of Chino, letter C. Christian Paul Soriano, letter C. Rose Belmonte, letter C. And the correct answer is letter C. Yes, metaphor. We are comparing United States as a melting pot. Direct comparison. No use of like and no use of as. And here for the last. Ayan. Ito na nga. Tapos na ito. Okay. So, it's metaphor. So, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. No, so once again, I'm Tutor Ruby. Thank you for being with me this afternoon. Time is so fast, but I know you have learned something this afternoon. So see you next week, and please don't forget to. Uh, be with Tutor Jester for English 9. So once again, thank you, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!